Hello and welcome again to another episode of Nerf News, your number one source for Nerf news. I'm your host, Drac, and today we are talking about this. What is this tiny image? Well, we're not going to spend any more time on this because it's horrible. So, hilariously, this is the actual press release photo I was sent and its resolution. This is what Hasbro decided to post on their Instagram. So, Nerf posted on their official Instagram this collaboration, Fortnite x Nerf. We've talked about this in the past. They sent me a press release saying that they had gotten this deal. They were working with this IP. Some of their collaborators, Hasbro's collaborators, also have this IP. Like, it's very, very exciting what's happening with Fortnite in this space as the toy industry, because, like, the toy industry has never really handled anything this gargantuan before, in my opinion. Like, in terms of, like, just IP so valuable, player base so fanatical, Fortnite is a really cool opportunity for the toy industry at large, and I'm thrilled that the mothership got the blaster rights, but I'm also terrified by it, if that makes sense. This serves to kind of assuage some of my, assuage? English is a difficult language, my friends. Some of my worries. So, they're starting with the most iconic blaster. Gee, I wonder where they got that idea, but, this is the Fortnite Scar. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is the regular Fortnite Scar. And the shell looks good. Like, it's the right amount of cartoony. It's the right amount of Scar. It's got the right stock. All in all, I think it looks really, really hot. Now, this color of Scar doesn't exist in the game, but there was no way that Hasbro was going to make us some desert camo or even some urban camo Scars. Like, that wasn't happening. So what we get is the kind of cartoony, and then I love this color scheme because this is a throwback to N-Strike, not N-Strike Elite. This is old school N-Strike. I'm talking Death Dealer 1.0, Death Dealer 2.0. The Alpha Trooper is back, and it looks like a Scar. So overall, I think this is amazing. Like, they had to make it neon. It had to be bright colors because it's the profile of a real steel firearm. Now, this is hilarious to me and progressive in some ways, but also, like, potentially very dangerous. And I really, really want you guys to comment down below. What do you think of this? Is this good for the hobby? Like, we've been putting body kits on stuff for forever. I just did a huge episode with Jangular while I was out in California, and we talked about this briefly. My opinion is that the pressure is on war hosts, really, to, like, determine what is safe and what is not safe for public play. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read this to you, and then I'll tell you what it is exactly. So my press release says, quote, verbatim, when it comes to creating epic Fortnite battles in real life, it's Nerf or nothing. Inspired by the iconic weapons used in the popular Fortnite video game, the Nerf Fortnite AR-L blaster boasts rapid-fire motorized blasting and flip-up sights that allow players to focus their aim as they eliminate opponents and attempt to survive the storm, in quotes. The Nerf Fortnite AR-L blaster features a 10-dart clip and comes with 20 elite darts, so Fortnite fans can play with power and precision no matter where their battle is building. Requires 4 AA batteries, not included. Available June 1st, 2019 at most major retailers nationwide, and of course at HasbroToyShop.com. Now, if it's interesting, like, I want to recommend HasbroToyShop.com, but it just continues to hose Magic the Gathering players every chance it gets. So luckily this will be distributed, I assume, at large. Like, you don't buy this IP and spend millions of dollars making Fortnite blasters to select retail it at, like, GameStop or whatever. I'm hoping this one goes wide. It says that it'll be at most major toy retailers, so that means Target, Walmart, Amazon. There's a chance, like, I don't know, we could talk about Toys R Us. Everybody wants to spam me and be like, Toys R Us is coming back. And it's like, Toys R Us's demise might have been a marketing gimmick all along, boys. And if Toys R Us comes back, it's never, ever, ever going to look the way that it used to. Toys R Us, as we know it in our hearts and minds, is functionally dead. Sorry. Like, that is not even insider information. That is just, like, somebody with common sense looking at Toys R Us's financials and what's just happened over the last year. Anyway, let's talk about this. So we've got the word, the most interesting word in this is, like, I think it's interesting that they chose not to call it a Scar. I think it's even more interesting that they decided to call it an AR-L. I assume it doesn't stand for Armalite, I guarantee you that. So it is what it is. I mean, it's a real steel replica, cartoonized as much as it possibly can. Now, one thing that I think is really dangerous is that a large part of this aesthetic that's making it cartoony is the color scheme, but it's also this super boxy magazine. Like, this is a cartoonish magazine, and this magazine makes it look more like a Fortnite blaster. Now, Fortnite gun, Nerf blaster. I try not to say that word on YouTube anymore. Anyway, the I'm a little concerned that once we start putting like Worker 22s or even like 6 clips or 10 round Nerf magazines into this thing, it's going to start looking like really, really vicious. And then obviously, like, this is the kind of blaster that you would never, ever, ever want to allow fully painted at a war in public ever. Like, it's going to paint up nicely. It's going to be amazing for Fortnite cosplayers. And I know that people are like, Fortnite cosplay is dumb, but like, yo, we still dress up as like Ash and Misty from Pokemon. So like, let Gen whatever generation they are like have their moment in the sun too. Fortnite is a fine game. Bloom is a terrible mechanic, but Fortnite is a fine game. I'm definitely going to tinker with one of these. I think that it looks really good. I'm concerned with almost how good it looks, because like this is a quick Dremel of this logo, a little bit of scarification, and some weather brushing or dry brushing for weathering I mean, we're pretty much at my prop level intrinsically here as far as the bodywork goes. Now, it is a little cartoony, which is going to be its saving grace, but like, of note, like, this isn't just a an image. Like, this is a real thing. Like, down here we have copyrights. This is a real image. This is a prototype that exists. This is probably how it's going to come into stores. So it's tough. I mean, it's got actual molding here for all of the real steel accompaniments, and with proper weathering and dry brushing, there's going to be a really... Ugh. Anyway, I could go on and on about that debate for a long time, but the thing that's interesting to me, and I want to tell you that, like, gee, maybe it'll have a rapid strike pusher. How cool would that be? Because in our press release, it says rapid fire motorized blasting, and to me, rapid fire is a word that should be reserved for full autos, but I do want to point out that it's powered by 4 AA's, and so that pretty much means that the full auto is out. This is a Strife reskin. It's just a Strife in a Fortnite shell, which means that paying 50 United States dollars for it is something that you only want to be doing if you really, really care about that shell. Like, you can buy a better blaster for less than half the money, and I just can't stress to you guys enough that you can buy a better blaster for less than half the money. So, if you're all about that Fortnite and you got to get that W, boys, then this is where you're dropping. But if you're not, then like, pick up a Strife. They're still on Amazon. Like, mod it to your heart's content. Make something that's functionally much better and aesthetically just as cool, if not more unique. But this is I think that's pretty much everything I have to say about it. It's amazing that it exists. It's amazing that Hasbro has this IP. I think that it's going to lead to a lot of cool blasters. I really, 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 really wanted them to go Rival with this line, but alas, they decided to go dart blasting, which is fine because Rival is going to be for all of the Overwatch blasters anyway. So that is the Fortnite blaster. I don't think we can talk too much more about it. Like, what do you guys think? Comment section below. Should we have real steel accompaniments in Blaster World official from the mothership? And there's no hypocrisy here. Like, I make blasters that look like this. I think that they're awesome, but I make them for very specific reasons, and I would never, ever encourage people to play with them outside. In fact, I mention that in every video where I make anything that looks remotely like this. Now, however, I'm also curious what you guys think about that price point. Like, it's probably fair considering all that goes into it and how many people have to get paid for a blaster like this to get made, but I think it's interesting. Like, weigh in, comment section below, let me know. In other news, I've got just 2 quick things to say. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my undead, unbeating heart. The success of Project Tooth and Nail was unprecedented, unexpected, and very, very humbling. I did not think that a blaster that has only like 1,500 units in existence would do better than the thing that I made before, which catered to a blaster profile that has like 3 million in existence. So, like, this is huge for me. It says a lot about the maker space. It says a lot about like the aftermarket for the hobby, and it says a lot about the kind of power that you guys want out of your blaster and the kind of performance that you want to deliver from that. So like, it's just very, very, very special to me, and I really, really appreciate each and every one of the 89 of you that supported Project Tooth and Nail. Your rewards will start going out as soon as I can finish these. I am disappearing to Florida for 5 days. The survey will go out over then. If you reply to that survey, I think you will be pleasantly surprised by just how quickly this run is going to get done and how quickly I will get your Tooth and Nail to you. Of note, Tooth and Nail is putting a lot more demands on me for printing and prototyping, and so I'm thrilled to announce a partnership with Prusa Research. I've been working with Filamentum for like a month now, I think, officially, and I've been building out a tiny little like maker space in my my workshop, something specific to the workshop, and it's given me a lot of ideas. We might be reviving a super duper dead channel of mine from like, shoot, I think eight years ago, to do a full maker kind of YouTube channel. Like, I got really burnt out on a lot of my my secondary channels, just because of the state that YouTube's in, but I'm super passionate about the maker hobby in and of itself. Like, there's just a lot of room to run out there, and everybody seems really open to it. So keep your eye out on some of my old and dead channels, because pretty soon we're going to start a soft launch of a makerspace. But I did just want to, like, there'll be full videos obviously, but I did just want to give a quick thank you to Prusa Research and my one specific super fan who helped make this partnership a reality, because exciting stuff is coming in that regard. I think that covers it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for the support on Tooth and Nail, and then let me know what you think about the new Fortnite Scar, or the Fortnite AR-L. It's a scar. Much love, Nerf on, Drac out.